Today on the table, I have another guitar from Glarry. This is their Les Paul style. If you want to take a close look at this guitar, stick around. Okay, we're ready to go. Let's get unboxing. As usual, comes in a nice labeled box. Let's see how it came. So nice and extra secure. Now this is definitely different too. And I'll tell you what, good freaking job. This is a lot closer to a real gig bag. It's not super duper. It's got very minimal padding, but it's better than what they used to offer, which was more of a dust cover. This, again, at this price point, that's a pretty darn nice gig bag. A lot of brands don't do that. Now take a look at this cable. This is different too. I'm used to getting an instrument cable in a Ziploc bag like this, but this is a Glarry labeled instrument cable, 10 feet, with a right angle and a straight. Cool. And it appears to be a better quality plug than I'm used to receiving. I like it. And definitely the plug-ins are much better. Cool. Oh, if they included a real strap, then I'm done. This will be perfect. You may recall in my other video, the straps that you get from Glarry are very short. At least they have been in the past. And yeah, this is one of those shorties. So it's very, very longest. You could probably put a guitar that would hang way too high. So no, straps are still too short for an adult, but probably work fine for a kid. Yeah, this would be great if you were tying on to a, yeah, you don't need that for this, I hope. Okay, got a couple of picks and a couple of Allen wrenches, hex keys, whatever you call them. The one is, it looks different. It's surprisingly long. Okay. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Glarry version of an LP style guitar. Struggle with plastic. Struggle with plastic. Okay. Wow. And we are out of the box. Huh. Something tells me there's a switch tip missing, but I'm sure it's in here somewhere. Okay, let me clean up and we'll be right back. Yeah, if that sounded like crap, it's because this thing is not set up very well. The nut's not cut properly. There's 1.5 miles of room at the first fret if you're doing the 3rd fret press down test. Overall, the frets, they're pretty rough. They're beveled far enough in that you really don't feel them, but when you do feel them, you know they're there. Little tinny there. Now, because it's not set up properly, that includes the intonation. Now, I just tuned this thing. It's perfectly in tune, but if you listen to an open chord, sounds like poo-poo. More poo-poo. Okay, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This thing sounds like shit. All right, so this guitar is set up very, very poorly. The nut is cut way too high. It's not intonated properly, and the string action is decidedly high as well, too. It is absolutely 100% not playable out of the box. When you play an open chord, it sounds like crap. because of the way the nut's cut. So I'm going to take a break and set this guitar up properly, and we'll come back and take a second listen to it with everything cut in properly. I have finished setting up the guitar. Sorry about that. You'll never hear that. I'll edit that out. Beautiful. Okay, 100 million% better. The nut, everything is filed into where it should be. Everything's intonated properly. So before, open chords sounded like total crap. Now they sound pretty darn good. So I'm still using the strings that it came with. I like to, I'm cutting them off at some point, but I like to leave them on there when I'm doing the work, so I don't ruin a new set of strings if I don't have to. Okay, I got to stop there. I think I'm blowing my PC speakers out. So. Not bad at all. Okay, so just going to wrap up final thoughts on this Glarry Les Paul style guitar, LP style guitar. It's got a black paint job. I've seen better paint before. There's a couple of definite imperfections that you can see. So not great, not horrible. $100, so I'm not complaining. The switch tip that I was missing when I took it out of the box, I found it in the bottom of the box. However, it wasn't just unscrewed, it was broke. So the switch tip itself was, the pot metal broke. So I super glued it back on. It's holding for now. If you didn't know how to work on a guitar, that might be a showstopper. That might be, well, you could still use the switch. So it wasn't a showstopper. But if you weren't happy with it, it might be a return. So I'm not going to return it for a switch that I can fix myself pretty easily. The action is set up pretty darn good at this point. The nut on the guitar, I can confirm, is a bone nut, as they advertise. When I do change the strings, I'll take some height off that, but they are sitting perfect using the 3-fret test, or from the 3rd fret test, rather, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know what you call it. It's something where you hold the 3rd fret down and you tap it, and it should just barely have clearance on the 1st fret. I'm sure I didn't explain that well. If you want to learn stuff like that, there are plenty of other channels to learn technique. That's not my forte. My forte is buying cheap pieces of crap guitars and making the best of them. Yeah. Anyhow, so the bridge here, this Tune-o-matic style bridge, I dialed it almost all the way down, brought the treble side up just a smidge, and I put all the strings into proper intonation. No issues there. The pickups were level with the guards, so I raised them up as well too, to where I believe they should be. And as you could hear, they sound pretty hot. So no complaints with the actual pickups. Has a nice acoustic ring to it, doesn't it? It's a Glarry guitar. The things that they got right this time for sure. The new gig bag, logo and all, big improvement. The strap still is tiny and junky and no good. The cord they sent with it this time, much better cord, high quality. That should last for a while. I like it. So no objections there. The guitar itself, is it worth $119? and that's usually the sale price. I think it's maybe 130 retail. Look for a sale. Any day that ends in Y usually has a coupon out there somewhere for one of these. This was not provided. I bought it myself. My wallet can attest to that. So, final thoughts? I don't know yet. I haven't had time to live with it. I don't know. I'll check back in. I'm not going to finish this video yet. I'm going to play this a little while, live with it, and see what it sounds like, and we'll get back. All right. Thanks. I'm back, and I have had, about 6 weeks with this guitar since that last clip, and I'll tell you what, I really do enjoy it. A lot more than I thought that I would. Out of the box, the biggest problem was the nut. It was a simple pre-slotted bone nut that had no finishing done whatsoever. But once the slots were cut down properly, that fixed a whole host of issues with the action, with the intonation, and it's a player. Plays like a champ. Kind of reminds me of an old Epiphone Les Paul Special I used to have. It's a good guitar that I wouldn't be ashamed to take anywhere. If you like this video and content like it, please consider subscribing and at least maybe leave a comment down below. I do appreciate it. And I'll be honest, I want to quit my day job. It's a trade-off. Do you want a plastic nut that's a little better fit, or a bone nut that you got to fit yourself?